Hi, I'm Michael Colyar, world-famous, world-renowned, often talked about alleged comedian, gentleman and a scholar, intellectual giant, and a pool of mental midgets and a connoisseur of fine haberdasheries, and I want to welcome you to the Happy Beginnings podcast. Here at Happy Beginnings, a.k.a. the Happy Pod, we're all about changing the addiction conversation, sharing stories, removing the stigma, and saving lives. Simply put, we are celebrating sobriety. We hope you leave us feeling happier and more hopeful. You know what? This is a place you want to be, man. If you've been through this life or you know people who are dealing with this life, this is where you want to be so you can just check in and see what we got to talk about. You may hear your own stories right here. You may meet some great people who have stories that change your life, enhance your life, or help your journey be a little smoother. It's called the Happy Beginnings Podcast, and I'm your host, Michael Colyar. We're just going to do it real here. We don't have no rules. We throwing the paper away. We're just going to be talking about what our lives are, what we went through, and where it is now. You know, myself being a true addict, I'm one of them hardcore addicts. You know, I'm one of those addicts who couldn't understand how we going to stop getting high when it's still dope on the plate. So being a real addict, I'll be telling my story of 23 years of sobriety 23 years of addiction. And 7 years of sobriety. And you see how I staggered right there? We ain't gonna be cleaning that up because it's just real, it's live, it's a podcast. What you see is what you get. You're gonna take it home with you. We hope you walk away with something that enhances your life and make you feel a little better, maybe happier, because this is the Happy Pod, the Happy Beginnings Podcast. Welcome to today's show. I'm talking to the great Academy Award-winning Lou Gossett, actor, I'm going to have to say storyteller par excellence,
Sober.
griot,
Yeah.
black man.
Well, they call me Baba now.
They call it
The kids call me Baba, yeah.
which is father or storyteller
back in the
or
good old days.
leader.
Yeah.
My woman called me Baba.
Yeah,
So
I don't blame her.
it is.
I don't blame you, Baba.
I know what it is,
Baba,
bro.
you got to go to Broadway. You know that.
I got to go. With my show,
I
the one-man
visualize
show?
you on Broadway by yourself.
It means so much to me when
That's
you
going
said
to happen.
that. When you said that to me,
Oh,
it
that's
meant
the
world to
quality.
me.
That's the quality.
It's really a good show too.
I know it is.
I'm gonna mount it once more, and we're speaking right now about a show I'm doing. It's a one-man show. Actually, it's a play, a 2-act play called Michael Colyar's Mama. And if you like your mama, you gonna love this show. You know, I get to tell my story of addiction and recovery, which is just part of the story. The whole story is my evolution as a child from the south side of Chicago who moves from the lower ghetto to the upper ghetto. And then I figure out how to do this comedy thing. I come to L.A. and start doing comedy on Venice, and I get jobs, and then I become a star, and then, of course, I get that money, and so go get me some dope, because I think it was Robin Williams who said it, that cocaine is God's way of saying you're making too much money. Money.
Yeah.
And then I go through the addiction and then come out of it, and then I fall off. Well, I didn't fall off the wagon. I jumped off, you know, and then went back, you know, and then I get to sobriety and back to God and to my mama, you know, and I get to tell that story. And you graced me by coming to see it.
I've seen it a couple of times.
Audience. You saw it twice.
Yeah.
And when you made the statement that you can't wait to see it on Broadway,
It needs to be on Broadway.
that means a lot to me.
It's very important for
Thank
those
you.
people to see your story on Broadway.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Anywhere
about
you
it.
can be.
I'm gonna get it on there. If it's Broadway, off Broadway, off. Right now in LA, that's off Broadway.
But they should take the off.
Take the off. Well, thank you for joining us this afternoon,
Yes, sir.
man. You know, the happy pod that we're doing here, our podcast, is where we're gonna talk about our lives, a little bit about our beginnings. You know, and I'm really curious about your beginnings. You know, I'm talking about before you did any movies. So what? How did your life start? You started on a farm?
No, I'm a first generation depression child.
Oh,
Everybody was not poor.
So what is that? 30s?
I was born in 36.
Oh, 1936. Okay.
So then in recovery with FDR, there was a New Deal, and they started giving people work on the railroads and stuff to get them to have a better feeling about America. And then naturally the union started, and Senator Esther Skifafa from Tennessee, before McCarthy, said, "Oh, these are communists."
Wow.
So there was a blacklist on all these communists. One of those people that was blacklisted was Dalton Trumbo.
Dalton Trumbo.
Right.
They did a movie about him recently.
So all the Dalton Trumbos and all the people, Morris Karnofsky, John Garfield, and the actors, they had to run Then there was intellectual cream of the crop in the universities, and they had to change their names. Okay. Mostly Jewish. There was Goldstein, who was Gold, and Shapiro and Schwartzberger, who was Schwartz. Mm-hmm. So those teachers found a place for them to safely go, and that was the New York City schools in Brooklyn.
Oh, wow.
So then they moved with the whole families to Brooklyn and Bensonhurst and Canarsie.
Right.
God's in charge of this move, by the way.
That's right.
There was a sensitive Board of Education man by the name of William Jansen.
Wow.
They accepted them. And then there was junior high school. I was the president in junior high school, Mark Twain, and I was the senior class president in Lincoln. That's not supposed to be possible for somebody of my shade, unless it was a black school, right?
That's right.
But it was a diverse school. So when you come home from school at 5 or 6 o'clock,
right,
and you go to the neighborhood, you could smell your way around the world.
Oh, so you could smell which food, which culture, what the Mexican food, the Mexican was over here.
So we got together, and we took care of our children. The girls had, rope and chalk, and the men had cut off broomstick handles and played stickball and punchball. Third base was a Chevrolet on the left. We had to make our scooters. That's all we could afford. Wow. So we relied on one another.
Wow.
So to make a long story short, that was a melting pot.
Okay.
And New York was the heart of a melting pot. So we would play Hopalong Cassidy, Superman, Captain Marvel. We'd play Potsy, Ring Olivio, Hide and Go Seek. Right. And children, if they go bang, bang, you're dead, you have to have faith and you die,
Yeah.
So that's where I got that belief system. So I grew up not in the minority because there was Filipinos, there was Jews, there was Italians,
what
Irish.
City?
Coney Island, Brooklyn, New York, Coney Island.
Brooklyn, New York, okay.
All right,
all right.
We grew up together.
Shout out to Brooklyn.
Yeah, right, Brooklyn. Brooklyn's not the same now, but it's not trying to be. So all those people were well educated because those teachers were professionals. They were the best, the intellectual cream of the crop of America. Should be in college, but they're in junior high school hiding because of the blacklist. They were not communists.
They weren't communists.
They were starting unions.
Yeah.
So here we are, all those great teachers teaching us. As a result of that Brooklyn education, we gave birth to Arthur Miller. We got Jackie Robinson and the Dodgers.
Wow.
We had Neil Simon, Neil Sedaka, Carole King, Sandy Koufax.
Nice.
And we came up and grew up together. So one day, I was about 10 or 11 years old. We were playing Captain Marvels. Now, there's people here too young to remember Captain Marvel. He was like Superman. His famous word was Shazam.
That's
He go from Freddy to this guy with a cape. And Superman, too.
Shazam!
And I got a little identity crisis when I was playing him. Because my family, they came from the South where there was a lot of prejudice.
Right.
And so there was always an element of saying, don't have too many aspirations because you're a black boy. And that's not the way I was treated by my friends.
That's right.
But it bothered me. So I tried and looked in the mirror. I was a Hopalong Cassidy fan, and I had all of his stuff.
Right.
I tried the best to look like Hopalong Cassidy. I do not look like Hopalong Cassidy.
No, you got to lighten up a little bit. Got to lighten
up.
up.
So in the playing, my friend Stanley Ralph Ross, was his name. I wasn't playing so well one day.
Okay.
He said, "Hey, Louis, what's the matter with you?" I said, I love playing with you guys, but there's no way I can look like Superman. He said, "What are you talking about? You're Superman today." He had no idea what a gift he gave me. I said, "Oh, you mean it?" He said, "No, you're Superman today." Right. There was no racism in him.
He didn't see
nothing.
You're
Superman. All right, up and away, man. Let's play, right? So he had no idea what doors he opened.
But you got it.
And when I was Superman today, I went on to be the president of the senior class of Mark Twain, the president of the whole school, Abraham Lincoln. And then at 17, and having never acted before, my English teacher, the late Gustav Bloomberg from Broadway.
Okay.
His name is now Gus Bloom.
Gus Bloom.
So he had this beret, and he said, hey, Louis, come here. I'm looking in the trades here, and they're looking for this this black kid to play a lead in this Broadway show. I don't know what Broadway was. I hardly knew who the Dodgers were. So this Sunday, tell your mama to take you down there. What can you lose?
Wow.
So on Sunday, me and my mother got on the BMT subway.
Okay.
And this is 1953.
Wow.
So we get on the subway, and hard to get on the subway. I go to the Apollo Theater sometimes, and that was a special thing.
Wow.
The Radio City Music Hall once a year, and Christmas. Outstanding. That's where you see it, Duke Ellington and all that stuff. That's goosebumps to that.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So anyway, I wind up at the Lyceum Theater, and it's about September, I guess. I don't know, it was a little chilly. They get on the stage, and it's dark. There's one light.
I'm on pins and needles, because I can't wait to figure out what the show is.
It's light. So I go out, and I start speaking, and they started giggling. I said, oh, man. So I started to walk out. And I fell into tears, and this black man came and grabbed me. He says, oh, no, hold it. We didn't mean to insult you. I just want you to know that I wrote the play, and you remind me so much of me. I went into giggles. His name was Louis Peterson. His wife was Peggy Fury, Lee Strasberg's teacher.
What?
So he walked me back, and I spoke the lines, and they started to giggle and applaud. And he said, "No, you got the part." I said, "Thank you." Anyway,
and you grew up around a lot of Jewish people.
Yeah, it's predominantly from the Warsaw Ghetto and the Russian Jews. So I knew about all the foods.
What was the show?
Take a Giant Step.
Wow.
I have a poster in my house. You've been in my house. You see that poster with me? That was the first thing. September, just right after Labor Day, 1954.
On Broadway?
On Broadway, and the lead, never having acted before in my life.
How old were you?
17.
Wow.
Do the math, y'all.
Wow.
So here we are, in the lead. They had a tutor that come on Wednesdays because of the matinees, and Saturdays. They would pick me up in Coney Island and take me to work until later on I could do it on my own. And that summer, before the show, they took me away to Newtown, Connecticut. I've never been that far. And they worked me 7 days a week on my diction, my acting, and they taught me acting with that part.
Wow.
So by the time I opened Labor Day in Philadelphia, I was in. I didn't know anything about acting or anything, but I knew about how to play that part because 75% of it was me anyway. It was a story about a young black kid raised up with mostly white kids, and he's the favorite until it's time to date, and there's nobody to date. And he suffers his growing pains and goes out to the black neighborhood to find the girl. Finds a prostitute. And
they good today.
Not to worry.
You can talk to them later.
And they came back with a deep breath. Yeah, everything's fine. No. But it lasted almost a year and a half, and I got the best newcomer of Broadway. And my competition was Ben Gazzara, James Dean, and Ben Gazzara, James Dean, and the guy from Tea and Sympathy.
And you won that?
I won that. It's called the Donaldson Award.
Wow.
I had no idea. I have no idea.
Huh.
So now here I am doing this play at the Lyceum Theater, and I'm the new kid on the block.
Right.
So the people who I kind of read about would come back to see me. Walter White, his daughter was in the play with me, Jane White. Walter White, he started the NAACP.
Wow.
Hazel Scott and
I know who Hazel Scott
and her husband,
wow.
Adam Clayton Powell Jr.
Yes.
They come back and bring me some sandwiches.
I didn't
Lena
know
Horne.
she was married to Adam Clayton Powell.
Adam Clayton Powell.
I didn't
Hazel
know that.
Scott, yeah.
Okay, Lena Horne.
Beautiful. It was a beautiful thing. I remember there was that magazine called Ebony. That was called Isle World first, before Ebony.
But she was a big, Scott was a big actress.
No, she was a piano player.
Oh,
she used to play two piano player.
And she played two pianos?
Yes.
At one time?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
So then they'd come backstage, all these famous people, Lena Horne, Josephine Baker, Paul Robeson, I don't know who he was.
Whoa.
But he was so excited to see me. He shake my hand, and his fingers hit my elbow. Wow. He just was thrilled to see a young black kid making it.
But that had to be a big thing.
It was big, but not for me, because I had no idea.
You had no idea.
So one Saturday, they were all there, taking care of this new kid on the block.
Right.
It's spoiling the hell out of me, And somebody goes, "Get out of the way!" And they get out of the way, and this is my great-grandmama. Now, she's 100, at this time, she must be 112.
Your great-grandmother?
My great-grandma. I'll show you a picture, because this is not, I'll show her a picture.
Wow.
So she comes in, I said, "Oh, Grandma, you made it." And she slapped me.
What?
I said, "Why'd you slap me?" She slapped me again. I said, "Why'd you slap me?" She said, "I taught you not to sass your grandma. And I heard you slash your grandma up there, and I taught you better than that." I said, "Oh, no, that's the line in the play." She slapped me again. She says, "I taught you better than that."
What?
So I said, "But it's the line in the play." She says, "I don't want to hear it." Now, all these people are in staring stitches. And I'm going to come back and make sure you don't say it again.
What?
So every time I got to that line, "Damn it, Grandma, I'm not going to do it," I stuttered.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you had to start early. That was amazing that even
at
at
the age of 17
you're on Broadway. So what's the biggest thing you felt like you did? And I'm not talking about because you got the Academy Award. We know you got the Academy Award. That's the great accomplishment. But what is the role that you played that meant the most to you
The
out
role
of all the roles?
Oh, there's a couple of them.
Okay.
There's a couple of what do you call them? Places, a couple of levels.
Right.
Let's start with the first level.
Wait, I just want the listener to know once again, y'all not just listening to two actors talking about our craft. You listen to sober men who are talking about our joy. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
The first one was I had no idea about the Ticket Giant stuff. What I wanted to do was play basketball and be a doctor.
Oh, wow.
Because all my families were dying. So I got a scholarship, played a little basketball, and I was the only black kid on the freshman team at New York University.
Okay.
The next year, it was all black almost.
Okay.
With Seth Sanders and all those guys. Wow. So I wanted to play basketball. But the most exciting things, for different reasons, was A Raisin in the Sun with Sidney Poitier and Ruby Dee and all those great people.
And you did it on Broadway.
Oh, yeah, and the movie.
Wait, now, so on A Raisin, you were the African
No, that was
boyfriend.
Dixon. I was the rich one with the white shoes.
Oh,
George Murchison.
Yes, George Murchison.
Yeah.
They want you to run off with George Murchison.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was the one with the money.
Okay.
So it came up to a place where I finally got a scholarship to New York University, and I was invited to the New York Knickerbockers basketball rookie camp up in the Catskills.
Okay.
They figured I was one of the potentials.
Right.
That's the original U.S. kids.
And could you play?
I could play, yeah.
Oh, you played?
On Coney Island, we all could play.
All right.
So anyway, I get up there, and I'm doing very well, but they lose tempers, and they start killing each other. Not killing each other, but fighting hard.
Wow.
Because there was no money. I mean, the highest salary was Bob Cousy for $115,000 a year.
Bob Cousy.
From Boston Celtics. Not very many blacks. So there were, and the Knicks was Sweetwater Clifton, former Globetrotter. I'm not sure whether I would have made it or not. But at the same time, I was chosen by Lorraine Hansberry to be one of those two characters, either the African or George Murchison. I was in it, and my per diem was $75 a week. So I had more in my pocket than they had in the bank.
Wow.
So that's when I decided, I'm going to get serious. And I went into the actor studio and learned how to do this thing.
Did you study under Lee Strasberg?
Yeah. Well, Peggy Fury was the one that taught the cast.
Okay. All right.
And I studied with Marnie Landau and all those people. Marilyn Monroe.
Wow.
She was in there, and I'll tell you that story later.
Wow.
But all those people, Brando.
Wait, let's go back to Marilyn Monroe for a minute. So Marilyn was really good, really a good actress.
If she had stayed with Arthur Miller.
If she had stayed with Arthur Miller?
If she had stayed with Arthur Miller, she was not on those pills. She would have gotten 6 Oscars by now.
But he couldn't take all the pressure.
He couldn't take
of the public.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he did one thing to her. He brought, because that wasn't Marilyn Monroe there. That was Norma Jean Darting.
That was still Norma Jean.
Yeah, but then when it put the pills, then
Marilyn got them pills.
That's right.
It changed everything.
That was a respite for her. She was one of the finest actors I have.
So addiction actually took her out of the game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a lot of history. We got a couple of hours to talk. It's up to you.
Wow. But you have such a rich history, though.
Oh, this history is, especially now that I can remember it.
Now you see, and that's another gift of sobriety.
Tell me about
you're getting memory back.
You know what happens?
What?
When you're a newcomer.
Right.
Before you come to the first meeting, we're really blind. Yeah. Physically, spiritually,
right,
and emotionally.
Right.
And then we finally make the first decision to stop.
Yes.
Stop using stuff, and then we start blinking a little bit.
Yes.
And then we start deciding, well, we have to let somebody handle it because I can't handle it. And finally you have a relationship with your higher power. Most of the time it's God.
Right.
Start blinking a little bit more, seeing yourself in the mirror.
Right.
Because you wouldn't want to look before. And then slowly start doing the steps and cleaning house.
Yeah.
And it's still a little blurry.
Right.
And then by the time you get into a couple of years, you start really noticing stuff's been around all along now.
Yeah.
But we have not. We're blind.
Yeah. For me, tasting food. I can taste food again.
Smells.
I was like, damn,
smells,
food tastes good. I didn't
feelings.
Wow.
And then we know what to do with them rather than call a dealer.
Right.
We know what to do with them. And then the years fill up. And I've got, not 20/20, but boy, can I see now. You should see this young man here. Boy, he's one of the ugliest black people I've ever seen. And he covers it up well, though. He's a good-looking boy.
Let me back up to early. When you first realized that having these recreational things were addictive. Where were you at in your career and in your life? Were you really
success.
young?
I was getting successful. I was the most successful black anything. I was the one.
Yeah.
And all I knew is that if you're successful, two things I knew. From my uncles, if you can't handle your drugs or your liquor, and you can't dress and be the most attractive and the most successful athlete, and still drink and stuff and show up on Monday morning, you're not a man.
Oh, how old? Around what age?
So 12, 13, 14. But I didn't get into it until 17. Maybe I snuck maybe when I was 16.
Okay.
But I failed that test. So I devoted my entire time to try and be a man. Because that's what success equates to.
A man start drinking.
A pocket full of money.
Yeah, but also he get his drink on too.
Yeah,
he
you
can
have
be
a
able
drink.
to handle his liquor.
Yeah, you have your handle your liquor, your women, and have a pocket full of money, and come home and bring your woman home and then go to sleep like a baby, and wake up on Monday morning
ready to do your job.
Responsible and ready to do your job. Monday to Friday.
17, but you just did alcohol? Was that your thing?
Alcohol mostly.
Mostly was your thing?
Yeah, alcohol, and I never liked it.
See, me, I never liked alcohol. I always preferred to smoke my drink.
Yeah.
But, I would never.
And marijuana made me cough, but I had to make it. I had to roll my sleeves up.
Yeah.
I had to roll my sleeves up. I'm going to be a man. Right. So and my family, I had a resentment with my uncles. They said, "You're different. So we're going to send you to school. Don't let me catch you doing what we do."
Nice.
It didn't make sense because the highlight of my life was they put me up in a they were called beer gardens at the time. I listened to the Dodger game. They put me up in a high chair, a little shot glass of beer. Man, I was in seventh heaven. And my dream to be one of my uncles because I loved them so much.
So it was psychological then. Because if it was just a shot of beer, that's all you needed.
Yeah, that's all I needed. So I could act the way they acted. Every time Jackie Robinson, somebody hit a home run, I'd party with them and laugh. And then I was their baby.
You met Jackie Robinson?
Yes, I did. And Rachel, back in the day.
Wow.
My favorite person was Don Newcomb. He's still my favorite person today.
Don Newcomb.
He's one of us, by the way.
Oh.
Him and Maury, they were one of us.
Right.
They must have got 50, 60 years of sobriety by now.
Right. What?
Yeah.
God, I'd love to get him in here.
Yeah, well, Don Newcomb, who was my favorite, he was enormously handsome.
Right.
He pitched both ends of a doubleheader. First was a one-hitter, the next one was a three-hitter, and he had 2 home runs. Both ends of a doubleheader on a fifth of Cutty Sark.
On a fifth of Cutty Sark.
And when he got into the locker room, he ringed the Cutty Sark out of his uniform.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's a man.
So now, did this interrupt your career at all?
No, not then.
Okay.
Because I was able to, there was a discipline there.
Okay.
I would not do it on stage or in front of television.
I gotta say that about me too. I never
went
to work high. I was a functioning addict. I never go to work high. I would, but once I was off, I would go off and do my thing.
Because my time, it's called downtime, right?
The downtime.
Yeah. So I found out the way I could do my downtime was in the alleys because I was too young to go to the bars. In the alleys with all the great jazz musicians, or in the village with the hippies. The bohemians at the time, the beatniks.
So artists, we just like to get our thing on.
Yeah, get rid of it. And it's called downtime. It's really uptime, right?
Okay.
Get downtime, but come time to go to work, can't do it. And then I knew I had a problem when I couldn't do that again. And I kind of ignored it and did it myself. And that's how those hippies did it.
Right.
And I was one of the top, so I knew how I could go and get some massages,
right.
some steam. Right. Russian baths.
Right.
That's what it. And it worked.
It soaked you up.
So I was able to do that on Saturday night or Sunday, and by the time Monday came, Monday night,
right,
that was cool. Wow, I'm becoming a man.
Wow.
I'm becoming a man. So I did that for many years. I was very creative. Did some great work.
Right.
Wound up in a village playing with guitars and stuff. One of the most exciting things, getting back to your question, was Jean Genet's The Blacks, the beginning of the avant-garde theater.
Wow.
So I was doing that. It's a story of, and that play was some of the greatest actors I've ever known. Cicely Tyson, Godfrey Cambridge, Maya Angelou, Charles Gordon, Raymond St. Jacques, Abby Lincoln.
Wow. All of them was in that play?
Yeah, all of us.
Was that
Raymond
around the same
Saint-Jacques.
time as Day of Absence?
Way before that.
It was before Day of Absence?
Yes, but in the same building.
Okay.
And it was right before the Negro Ensemble.
It was before Negro Ensemble.
Yeah, and Douglas Turner was in this play.
Douglas Turner.
Yeah, and then Billy D. Williams showed up. So
and people who don't know, Douglas Turner started the
Negro Ensemble.
The Negro Ensemble Theater, which is an amazing. Some of the greatest black actors ever came through there. And didn't he write the play Day of Absence?
Yeah.
And he wrote Day of Absence. And
Happy
Day of
Ending
Absence,
and Day of Absence.
for the white folks who don't know, was the day that all the black folks disappeared in a southern town, and white folks had to fend for themselves. And it was amazing and hilarious and
Very
telling.
funny, yeah.
Very telling. And
So,
what was the blacks? The black story was...
There's the Jean Genet is an avant-garde place where they start to take over in this town.
Okay.
And they got all these people to come see this dance, this thing, and they're all kind of dressed and acting like royalty in France.
Right.
And they come down to the ghetto, and they go inside to see these wonderful blacks. And they lock the door.
Okay.
And they start teasing them, if you want, but with an edge on it.
Right.
So like Roscoe Lee Brown was the MC.
Oh, God. He was
And after
great.
we did the minuets,
Right.
and all of a sudden Roscoe would say, "Ladies and gentlemen," and the entire cast would go, "Ah ha ha ha!" You realize, uh-oh, something is up, So by the time we get halftime, people are throwing up and fainting because they don't think they're ever going to leave that room.
Wow.
That still should be a movie.
Wow. I know it's a classic.
It's classic.
Great play. Have you ever done any of the works of August Wilson?
No. I was going to do Fences, but they wanted me to do a hand reading, and that's too deep. You have to study.
I saw you in a play. I will never forget it as long as I live. I was in high school. I was a teenager. It was called The River Niger.
Oh, yeah. I produced
in Chicago.
Yeah.
So
I produced the film.
And you produced? I didn't know there was a film of it.
Yeah, it's a film with myself, and my last manager was Ike Jones, who was Nat King Cole's manager. And I had some people in it. Roger Mosley.
Who?
Roger Mosley.
Oh,
and Glenn
Roger
Turman.
Mosley.
Glenn Turman.
So, and Glenn Turman is great, and some folks are getting some education.
Glenn Turman was
now,
in Raisin and Son. He played the little boy. He
wasn't
in the
he
movie.
was in the original Raisin and Son on Broadway. He was 8 years old.
Absolutely.
Right. But now, was there a point where your addiction became debilitating for your career?
Yes.
What age? Like, where were you at?
So let's see.
What shows were you doing right
let's
then?
see if I can remember. I was getting the responsibility. I had a television series.
Okay.
And I had now I can be sophisticated.
Oh.
I can get the best stuff. I got the punabud, and I got the ganja.
Oh, the good stuff.
I got all the good stuff. And
somebody's dinging. That must be you.
It's my cell phone in my car.
That's bag. Okay. So we got cell phones, and we do it here. We comfortable.
Okay,
here,
so I went and went to Jamaica because I had been smoking all the great stuff around the world. I had gone to Africa.
Okay.
I had been to Brazil.
You was getting the good shit.
Yeah, and I'd bring it home to the village, and we'd all share and stuff. And then
what's the village? Greenwich
Village. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And then we would sing and music, and we'd create. It was very nice.
So you were a bohemian.
I'm a bohemian. From a hippie, from a bohemian to a beatnik to a hippie to a flower child.
Right.
All of that stuff.
So it was the scene.
That was the scene.
And that scene, people was getting high. They was doing their thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as you don't mix it. And I couldn't stop. One morning I couldn't stop.
Wow.
And I showed up and they could smell me. But 2/3 of the crew were the same. They took care of me.
Wow.
And then, because I guess I was too valuable to them.
Can you say the name of the series?
See if I remember.
That's how I want to be,
I can't remember.
Lou. I want to be so successful that I can't remember what see, that's my phone. Don't go ahead. I want to be so successful I can't remember some of the shows I've done.
Yeah.
You know. Excuse me, fool. I'm on the radio right now with New Gossett, so you can't be calling here. We at work. Okay, I'm gonna call you back.
All right, so I don't remember. What I really do remember is down the road I was doing, let's see, the first series I did that was on me was The Lazarus Syndrome.
The Lazarus Syndrome, I remember that.
Yeah, I played a doctor, and I got the leading lady of my choice. She was a woman that Superfly made love to in the bathtub, Sheila Frazier.
That's who? That's Sheila Frazier.
Sheila Frazier.
I know Sheila Frazier well.
Yeah, and so I was halfway to being under control then, and they were on my side. They would hide and get me a little bit of stuff, and the prop man and stuff. But I remember losing control.
So now what was the stuff?
And they knew
what kind of
marijuana.
Just marijuana.
Marijuana.
Okay,
Cocaine was in the picture because it made my eyes red and I couldn't act.
Oh, okay, all right.
So I was sophisticated.
Okay, all right.
You know, I had the Colyar
Okay.
and some punapud and some ganja.
Yeah.
That's what everybody else did. So those are like my uncles. I'm with you.
Okay.
But the only difference between me and them is I'm on camera.
All right.
Right? So I kind of denied it. And when it got a little more serious, I did what some of my contemporaries did with a little bit of money. I'd go to Sedona and get in a sweat lodge and come back healthy.
Right.
I'd get massages, go to the mud baths, go to the Korean places and get massages and baths and come back. Oh, hey, that's what you do. You know, and I was in the sophisticated robes, and that stopped working.
That stopped working.
And then I got another responsibility because we grew up together, me and the directors and stuff.
Right.
And some of them were in the program, I guess.
Okay.
Others passed away. And so I had 2 or 3 series, and I showed up on the one series, Gideon Oliver. And so now I have my money. I could call a shot. So that was the time I found some cocaine from, I won't mention his name, somebody I did a play with.
But money means you can afford better dope.
Yeah, I got the best cocaine.
Yeah.
And it didn't do that to my eyes.
Yeah, okay.
And then I found some Courvoisier.
I once with a guy, he gave me some cocaine he had cut with Desinex foot powder, and I went and broke into a Foot Locker shoe store. I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, I couldn't help.
You're nuts. I'm going to send your butt to Broadway. So now it's getting a little serious.
It's getting serious now.
Getting a little serious because I said now it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I can't sleep. It's all on my shoulders.
Right.
And then my great-grandmother's thing saying, it's going to hurt me, it was going to hurt you. The funny thing about that great-grandmama,
Great-grandma.
whenever I got into trouble, she used to sip a thing called railroad mill snuff.
Oh, God.
And psychologically, when I did something wrong, I could smell that butterscotch flavor somewhere in the room.
She would take the snuff and put it underneath the
Yes,
lip.
it's called
between the
railroad mill
teeth.
snuff.
Oh,
Buttercup,
my goodness.
railroad mill snuff. It had a butterscotch flavor to it.
Butterscotch flavor.
Yeah.
And you could smell that.
And but
when you was in
psychologically,
trouble.
yeah.
So grandma would show up.
She was-
in other words,
yeah.
she would show up.
She would
sort of
show up.
remind you that you out
So I
of
had to
line.
do something to keep her out. So I had to do something stronger than that. And I had to block it out. I had to block grandma out. I blocked my road.
How'd you block out? What'd you do to block out?
Get a bigger hit.
Get a bigger head. That'll do it.
So I did not know that this disease had such control. If I take a lot of big hits, I can't work the next day. Then it started lying.
Wow.
I had the mirror that told me I looked good, and it looked
Right.
terrible. Even though I had lost 65, 70 pounds.
Wow.
The mirror said, "You look good, man, going out there." I had shaved, but they took care of me until they couldn't take care of me anymore. So, fade out, fade in. I got it together to do An Officer and a Gentleman. And I went down to San Diego and met the man who was in charge of the Marine DI school.
Okay.
And I trained for 60 days, and every bad element was out of my body.
Now you did 60 days sober?
60 days sober.
And so for
Because
60
this is my
days
big
you stayed
shot.
clean and you did this the big
Clean,
shot?
clean.
Okay.
I had done roots and stuff, and that was another one. So now I'm on a comeback path because now my career is the responsibility. My kids are getting older now, and I have to be responsible.
Okay.
It was tough. It was called a dry drunk.
Oh, wow.
But I didn't put any elements in my body. It was just the psychological. So the thing for Officer and Gentleman,
Wait, slow down. Say it again. A dry drunk is what? You're not
dry
actually...
drunk is you don't do the elements. It's this
Okay.
attitude.
All
It's,
right,
it's a
okay.
psychological alcoholic or drug addict.
All right,
Even though they don't put anything in their system, we've tipped the scale. Even though we don't do it, we're
still
getting
there.
down lower and lower and lower because of our attitude and our value system.
Okay.
So, okay, I said, well, I better make a comeback some kind of way. My entire life was making comebacks.
Right, right.
When you're an addict. And
Your
so,
entire life was making cuts.
yeah, so, okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to go down to MCRD, Marine Corps Recruitment Division, and get real serious. So I went down voluntarily to San Diego, and I met Gunny Dower, the man in charge of the DI school. I couldn't live on the base, but I lived in a motel right across for 2 months. And every morning at 5 o'clock, they'd let me in the gate, and I'd be one of the DIs. I did everything but smoke the camels and drink the beer.
Wow.
And I trained, and I did all the stuff, running, did the Ironman course for 2 months. And by the time that movie started, I was a DI.
You were a DI by then.
I was a DI.
It
There was no
in your
acting
system.
involved.
Yeah.
And they made sure I didn't make a mistake. They came up with me. So there was a moment of clarity. That movie was a moment of clarity. But near the end, because the other ones still were partying, they had to remove me for 20 miles away because they didn't take me seriously, all those actors. I don't know what the Marines did, but by the time I came back, they were behaving themselves. So in reality, that Oscar that I have belongs to the Marines.
Wow.
But when that thing was over,
they took you
and I got that Oscar, then I inherited a whole new society.
Oh, God.
So one day, I was in Hancock Park, and I was doing a series called Powers of Matthew Starr. I was where I'm supposed to be. They'd broken all kinds of records. The doorbell rings, and two women came off the cover of Glamour magazine.
Nice. What did they bring with them?
And well, they came in. I said, "Well, hi." I was sent by, and I can't mention his name.
Okay.
And I said, "Okay, come in." And where's your bedroom? They went to the bedroom. Went to get some coffee and some stuff to give them. Came back and they were naked. They said, "Have you tried this?" It was a glass pipe.
Damn. That's my kind of party right there. I just want to say,
So
two butt-naked women in a glass pipe.
I took the hit, and I felt like I'd seen God.
Me too. That first hit, you spend the rest of your life chasing that first hit.
And then it never was like that again in life.
Wow.
But a drug dealer pimp sent them.
Ah.
And that was a cooperative.
He knew how to
the same story
what you
with 25 actors and musicians. Continue the same story.
Wow. He sent them in with what they know you wanted, with just enough
get the money
to bring
twice.
you in.
And then you're stuck. Yeah, there's the hooks.
I had a friend sold Rolls Royces, and he would do that.
And then you go out of your way to find that man. Of course, he knows how to do that.
Oh, you can go find him?
You can find him. He changed his number, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can find him.
And if you're doing too much, he don't want to answer your phone. Because, the police are looking after you.
Wow.
So that happened and that got real deep.
So how long did you do that dance?
I did pretty seriously for quite a few years.
Yeah.
And I still had support systems from the people I grew up with, who were also on.
Did you ever do the freebase thing?
That's exactly. I was the expert.
Oh.
I knew how to make it.
Oh.
That's what got me down.
Because the freebasing, that was,
Yeah,
okay.
I knew how to do that and make it clean and be sensitive to others so that they didn't do too much for themselves. I took very good care of them.
Oh, nice.
And I'd stash, I'd lose a rock on the carpet. And they'd find
tear that damn carpet up.
Yeah, and they'd find a rock and put it between their toes and help me look for it.
Oh, man, that's what I'm saying. Oh, my God.
I went way down.
Steal your dope and then help you look for it.
Yeah, way
Lord, have
down.
mercy.
And I'd sit there, and the 3 or 4 of the finest ladies would come in and take my televisions and my phones and walk out, and I couldn't call the cops.
Wow.
And
now
then,
you couldn't. Who you gonna call?
Yeah, well, he's not going to come to my house. I can't call him. So finally, the thing I would celebrate is, they took my TV, took my watches, but you couldn't find my stash. Now,
And your stash became more important than all the other stuff.
That's insanity.
Yeah, it is insanity.
I tried a couple of times. I went to
you're
Sierra
not pimping
Tucson.
the dope pimping you.
The number one thing was the dealer or the stuff to get high, rather than learning lines.
No matter where you went.
Or being a father, a grandfather, or responsibility. And you know it, and you can't do anything about it.
So, okay, when did you know you had to turn this around? You couldn't take no more. I got to get my life straight.
Ultimately, July 4th, 2004.
2004.
Yeah, it should be before that because I went back to South Africa, and I had a glass of Merlust, it's called. It's South African wines, the finest wines in the world.
Merlust?
Meerlust.
It's a wine?
It's a wine.
Okay.
If you still drink wine, go for it. It's the best in the world.
Merlust, but yes.
Yeah, but by the time they put me out of there, I was searching for Madagascan cocaine because it's in my system and I have no control over this disease.
Do they have cocaine in Madagascar?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, at least when I was there.
Yeah, okay.
But then now that's embarrassing. I've come here to be with Nelson Mandela.
Wow.
And he's there, free. And he had the patience after 27 years to see me like that and hug me and shake my hand.
Wow.
And I asked him, the world had stopped and waiting for you to come out and what you were going to say because they thought it was going to be a bloodbath. And you came out with a smile on your face. He said, well, it's a bigger picture than even me coming out of prison.
Nice.
And then for that thing that he said turned me completely around. Nothing that I can use as an excuse to get sober, to get drunk or high, could amount to all the stuff that he might have been resentful about. So
what did he say exactly?
he said, it's just Africa should be united. And once and all, we have to stop all this apartheid. And he became the first president, and he abolished apartheid, and united the entire country. Wow. So now I had no reason to use, I had no control. So I started looking
excuses.
Out of excuses. Felt like a little pea. Wow. Because he accepted me. Because I had made history. He had a collection. And so something very strong happened to me. When I came back as another person. I started doing it my way. I went to Israel, to Dead Sea, and I went to Sedona. Finally, I went to rehab.
Nice.
I've been to 3 or 4.
Right.
But the time I went to rehab, I had to ask my sons to take me to Promises. And I was 40, 50 pounds underweight. Uh-huh. But that lion mirror said I looked good.
Right.
And for some reason, when I walked into Promises, those monitors were coming from the streets. And some of the men were very angry at me. Some of the women went to tears. And it took them 37 days for me to get it a little bit. I didn't want it, but I got it. Mm-hmm. From then until now, I've done these 12 steps.
Right.
I've surrendered.
Okay.
Because the only thing that can get that disease in remission on a daily basis is your higher power and the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous.
The higher power and the 12 steps. Now, in that time, since 2004, did you ever fall off at all or no?
Well, before I went to Promises, yes.
Okay.
There was a little stuff, hit and miss. With the sophisticated thing that all I have to do is go steam and get a massage and eat proper stuff and work out. And so if you're listening about addiction, there's no gym that's going to stop us from using this stuff.
There's no gym. There's no food.
There's no food, no sauna, no spa.
No relative.
No nothing. No.
But so now that you get to the other side,
Yeah.
And I've been watching you and over the years, the last few years especially, and I've been watching you blossom and getting back and getting more work now and looking better. I mean, you was kind of heavy when I saw you in the program, and you're slimmer and everything. What are some of the joys of sobriety that you're experiencing?
Well, when you first get sober, you're blind.
Okay.
And then you have to reluctantly get a bit of control. So you got to do it whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And then you do it enough, here you are, an open conduit for a light. Imagine a light shining through you.
Yes. You've gotten out of your own way. For me, the joys of sobriety, the gift of sobriety is everything.
Everything.
I'm doing everything now that I've ever wanted to do. I'm standing in the middle of my dream. I'm with a queen, a goddess that I know that my mother sent directly to me.
Absolutely.
I'm writing shows and acting and doing comedy. And I know that I'm getting all of that because I'm staying sober and staying obedient to Father God.
Yes, sir.
So my question to you is, what are some of the joyful things that are happening to you now, and you feel like you can attribute that to the fact that you're sober?
Let's continue with simplicity.
Okay.
You wake up in the morning, and I have a habit.
And not have a habit.
That's the first thank you.
That's big. That's
I woke
huge.
up, and I've got a lot of contemporaries gone. And so now that I'm up to the knees, to the prayers, the Lord's Prayer.
Yes.
I know what it means now.
Yes.
I used to say it kind of quick,
Yes.
And then a little meditation. And I get welcomed my puppies, and I get on my phone. So if I don't go to a meeting, I have one on the phone, FaceTime. I do it every day. And when you finally connect those days, a magic happens. You have a clean vessel from which to get his message. And they come in dreams, they come in inspirational thoughts. And you get to practice it in all your affairs. And that takes courage. Now it's second nature, which is why I'm sitting here talking to you now.
Yes.
There's a program of attraction. It's daily practice. My vision has come back. And I'm very excited because I know there's so much more to see. So I'm very excited about the future, the present and the future. And it's happening even as we speak. And I have witnesses for it that I'm with every day. Especially my children, my son. And grandchildren who never see me high or drunk. They're attracted to the light. Now I'm going to Georgia for the present and the future. The most exciting city in the world right now. 5 studios, 2 more being built. And all of a sudden, everything that comes out of my mouth is positive.
Yes.
So they want to be around me.
Yes. Everybody loves the light.
It's the light. It's not me.
Everybody loves the light.
The God light is coming through me, and I'm a conduit of that energy.
Gifts of sobriety.
And never perfect. Now, if you're a newcomer and you listen to this thing, and you feel trouble and you're down and you're disappointed in yourself, it's not a large order for you to get sober for the rest of your life. All you got to do, as God asks, is to face in that direction.
That's
and
right.
be willing, that's the magic word, to surrender to this process. Let God take care. Let go and let God.
Let go and let God.
You don't have to go down the road and get your axes and stuff. Just make a decision.
I dig how our programs all say to the God of your choosing. So it don't have to be Jesus or Jesus Daddy or Allah or Yahweh or Yahoo or Bob.
Just as long as your higher power does for you what my power does for me.
Exactly.
That's all.
Yeah. Some people break it down to religion and spirituality, and religion is supposed to be for people who believe there's a hell, and spirituality for people who actually been through it. You know?
Yeah.
So we find what that light is. I just know that I dance in this joy every day. I get up in the morning, the first thing I do is a prayer because, I brush my teeth first because I don't like to talk to God with a dirty mouth. But then I say
God don't like halitosis, bro.
Yes, no. And I do the prayer of gratitude because I'm just so grateful to have another day. How many people went to sleep yesterday, didn't get up this morning? Had plans for this afternoon.
Especially those who believe the way we used to believe.
And believe what we used to. Yeah. Instead of getting up in the morning, wonder what that next Rocky is.
Yes.
Is Ricky going to answer the phone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's
not your thoughts anymore. No.
So there's so many gifts of sobriety. I'm sitting here with you.
I think
that you're an amazing, I know that you're a legend and a great historian of my life, the things that I love and believe in. Academy Award winner, when I'm trying to get my acting together, I get to sit here and talk to you. That's one of the gifts of sobriety. Okay. I'm talking to all three of my brothers now, and I always talk to them, but I've always had some type of strife with one of them. I talk to all three of them every day, and we don't have no problems anymore.
Well, there's a neon light that I got back from South Africa for people of color and people of minorities who are addicts or drunks. That can't be blamed.
Okay.
That can't be blamed for our addiction, even though we're justified to have the feeling of resentment or anger. So that when you get sober, there's no revenge. The worst resentment that somebody can have is the one you feel justified to keep. Very self-defeating. So I got to have that on my fingertips as I go to Atlanta, where I'm moving. To a whole bunch of young, brilliant minority kids who think they got the keys to the kingdom with the 2 cars and the big houses and the money. And they don't know how quick that's going to go away.
Oh, it'll be gone in a moment.
Yeah, I've heard too many stories.
That in our lives doesn't cost anything.
No, it's free.
Light and love and joy, all that stuff is free. I didn't ask you, but I think in hearing your story, I got the answer. But just to be clear, did you not have any addiction in your family before?
Oh, yeah, all the men.
Oh, okay.
All the
men.
There
was some,
Before 60 years old, alcoholism.
Okay.
All of them.
Because my dad was
Except
big
my cousin died
alcoholic.
They gave my cousin a hot shot. Because he had lost control, and the cops were following him to the dealers.
The cops gave him a hot
shot? Following him to the dealers, so they gave him a hot shot so he'd not be dangerous.
Wow.
That was my best friend, my cousin Johnny,
And he's your best
friend?
But
every male in my family.
He's the first cousin?
The first cousin.
That's usually our first best friends, is our first cousin.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Wow. So we learned so much from this, and we
that's all I knew.
So much.
That's all I knew. I didn't have a bedroom where I saw the parties. My uncle, they were zoot suiters. They're great athletes. They had all the women, and the smell of marijuana and alcohol was the smell of love.
Okay.
That's all I knew.
I mean, in my family, so many people are addicts, and in my family, so I know it's sort of like, it's like in our genes.
And they have a good time, too.
So we really have to follow. They had a good time, though. I mean, like me, I had a good time as a crackhead.
Yeah.
And I had to say that. I mean, a lot of people be like, oh man, my life was so hot. My life went hard. Yeah. I was partying my ass off. I couldn't wait for them butt-naked girls they sent you with the pipe. Yeah. I was looking for them. I was looking out the window. Are they coming? Are they on the way? But I realized deeper in that I wasn't happy, that I wasn't.
Time. You need twice as much for the same thing.
I wasn't getting what my soul and my heart
then 10 times as much for the same thing that's less.
I got to talk about Chicken George. I got to know, when you were doing Roots, were you at all getting high at that time or no?
None at all.
No. Okay.
Why? I don't know. It was sacred.
That was sacred.
It was an opportunity to tell the story once and for all.
That was a sacred story,
it's a sacred
man.
thing.
You know?
I really keyed in. It was key. Although I used afterwards, it was key.
Right.
But I had in my system a resentment because I had won Emmys and Oscars.
Right.
And I never made that money.
Right.
And I was always, somebody's finger in your face was saying, you still got to prove it. You still got to get this less money. And I took a resentment, a very strong one, because my disease said I should. And so I destroyed. I'll show you. I did all kinds of stuff, which was hurting myself.
Right.
But to make a long story short, now there's no resentment in the system. And
you like who you look at when you look in the mirror?
Had I gotten all that money and all that attention, I would be dead.
And me too.
Right.
I mean, I'm really glad I didn't get mad early because it would have been gone, and so would have I.
Send the money to me now.
Yeah, send to me now. We know how to spend it now.
Yeah.
Another gift of sobriety.
Yes, sir.
That now we know.
So I'm very grateful to have gone through that.
Yeah.
Now that I know that, then I could maybe handle a little bit better now. Because it's not about me.
So, in wrapping this up, if there was something that you would want to say to our listeners who may or may not be addicts, they may just have people in their families that's addicts, or they may just have friends or someone they know who deals with the struggle of having and living a life of sobriety. And let me say something. This show is not about us preaching to people.
No.
That ain't what we do here. We're not trying to tell people who get high or who don't get high that you shouldn't do this and don't. That ain't none of our business. You know, at the end of the day, my mom always used to say, "I'll save my soul and you save yours." Okay, so at the end of the day, you gonna do what the hell you want to do. This show is about celebrating our sobriety. It's about celebrating the fact that those of us who did that dance got to the other side, and we talk about the joy and the happiness that comes from that. So I was asked if you was to say anything to our listeners about your happiness or what sobriety is doing for you, or how they can get it too, or if they wanted it, how easily accessible it is, anything in that realm that you would like to add, you have the floor.
Well, there's a couple of things. My target is probably a lot of young kids. That's where I'm going to. See, that's one call.
That's your phone. See, that's God right there.
That's what I put it in. That's what I put.
Go ahead and answer that. That's how we got it in here, y'all. While he's getting his phone, I do want to tell y'all we're going to start to wrap this up in a minute, but we appreciate so much you folks being out there listening to us and hoping that there's some nuggets here that you can take away that will help make whatever your journey is easier, because addiction is addiction to almost all kind of stuff. Sometimes it could just be addiction to food. You know, it could be addiction to your own ego. You know, you got to have more of that pumped up. We don't know what that thing could be, but we say that you can get to the other side of it. We know that because we live it, and we know that when you get to the other side of it, you get back a semblance of this thing considered or called control. And now you can navigate your life. And when you navigate your own life, you will always navigate towards joy, towards more love, more life, more abundance, more peace. Was that call important? Was that for me? Was that call for me? Was somebody?
They said they wanted the money to owe them.
Okay, tell them I'm not here. Tell them I'm not here. So go ahead. He was going to wrap it up.
Anyway, I think I'm going to try and get to a convention, because Alcoholics Anonymous and people are serious about the anonymous thing. So I made a decision about that, which is why I'm here.
Yes.
It was called anonymous because at the time, being an alcoholic or a drug addict, all you could get was electrotherapy, and you had to go in an alleyway to get sober. It was something to be ashamed of. And that's, you hear that from Dr. Bob and Bill W. They had to go up in the attics and all kinds of backlots. There's too many needy people now, especially young people. And they want to know how you did it, if you did it. How did you get out of it? So the anonymous, I think, has got to be having a little quote in it, a little asterisk. I think we have to be public. So tell them where they can come to get some possible.
Alcoholics.
Yeah.
Let it be alcoholics. Because I know I'm not anonymous.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Me neither.
I'm not
Me
anonymous.
neither.
I tell everybody. I stop people
they
in the
need
street.
it so
and
badly.
They say, "Why you telling me?" I say, "Shit, I'm telling everybody."
Yes.
You know, and I tell everybody.
They need it badly.
It's in my life who's near me, so that I don't use again.
Yeah, some of our leaders are secret alcoholics.
Yeah, they secret.
Some of the athletes, they need it. They need this so badly.
It allows them to stay. It allows them to stay addicted as long as they keep
I want them to try me.
Man, ain't gonna be no
ain't
secrets.
No secrets.
I'm telling everybody. And if you see me out there getting high, walk up, slap the shit out of me, because I've already told you. I don't do that anymore. I don't drink it. I don't toot it. I don't smoke it. I don't shoot it. I don't do any of that. And it's not because I feel better than anyone else. It's not because I'm right and you wrong. It's just because it is what I have chosen so that my life is smoother and more full of joy and laughter and happiness and fun.
Well, we have to carry the message in all our affairs. If I'm going to help those young people, I can't give away what I don't have.
That's right.
So it says carry the message in all your affairs.
I just want to say that I am grateful to have done this interview with you, first of all, because you're my friend, and I love you, and that you are a legend, and that you are a great man, a great person, and you have such great, rich stories to share, man. And you know we can't do this in no hour. We need 2-3 hours to chop it. I'm here with the genius and the legend, the griot, Baba Lou Gossett, Academy Award winner, and just a fly, great young man who just really have walked this walk in the industry that I'm in and in the life that I'm in. And I'm honored to spend this time with you.
I'm honored to be with you because you belong on Broadway.
Thank you. Yes, I'm going to. He said I'm going to Broadway. How many times did you do Broadway? How many shows?
Oh, 30, 40.
30 shows on Broadway, and he says I'm going to get one. So that you heard that for yourself.
I wanted people to see that.
That means the world to me, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you. We're so happy that to kick this thing off, show number 1 is my friend, Lou Gossett Jr. Or is it you the third? Junior. Lou Gossett Jr., great man. God bless you, and thank you very much for being here today. Wow. I think that'll do it. Stick a fork in me. I'm done.